Halt! Search! Show me what you've got on you.
Go ahead and search me. I've got nothing to
Hurry
hide.
up! Everything in order. Carry on.
Good day to you. Greetings.
Are you looking for something?
Huh?
What? What do you want?
I hear you like to play.
What game would you like to play?
I actually don't want to play anything. See ya.
What is it? Did you drop something?
Hey, Wayfarer! You have a long road ahead of you. Why don't you and I roll some dice?
Not from me, I'm afraid.
Hail Mary.
I've heard incredible things about you. They say you let a fully loaded hay wagon roll over you.
Hi. It was quite the show.
Is that how you usually spend your free time?
Oh, often enough. People like it. But don't think it's some trick. It's the real thing. And it's not easy. It's not just about muscles, but about your overall approach to food and life in general. Being a strongman isn't a trade. It's a way of life.
I believe you. Getting run over by a wagon isn't for everyone.
That's right. Not everyone can do it. But I was nursed by a wild she-bear, so it's no problem for me. Nothing's impossible. Remember that. Nothing's impossible.
How's life? All good?
Couldn't be better, lad.
You were raised by a wild bear, you said?
You think I'm lying? Or you're just amazed?
Well, it's just you're the first person I ever met who had that kind of upbringing.
The first? The only one, more like, fella. It was a cruel winter when they found me in that bear's den as a baby.
So you're an orphan?
If we rule out a human baby being born to a bear, then I reckon that's a good bet.
Right. That was stupid.
What?
No, I meant I was being stupid. About the bear thing, of course.
Well, there you go. Nothing's impossible for a man like me. Like I say, nothing's impossible.
What did you do before you took to the road?
How did I become a nomad? It's in my blood. This is my life.
So you've known the Voivod for some time?
Uh-huh. The Voivode is a good fella. I met him this winter and helped him with his horse.
I didn't realize you know about horses.
What? The only thing I know about horses is that they go around on 4 legs. The Voivode's horse died from the cold, so I dragged it to the camp on a handcart, and we turned it into some first-class goulash. At least that old nag was good for something.
I'd be interested to know what you live on.
I had lentils for lunch and bread pudding for dinner. What's it to you?
What do you do, I mean?
Right now, I'm talking to you. Then I'll go and have a bite to eat because I'm starving and need to keep my strength up. It's not so easy. The strongman trade can't be taken lightly.
Don't they say a hungry artist makes for a good artist?
A hungry artist is a bad artist because no one ever earned a crust by going hungry.
What can you do, Tomcat?
Me? Everything. Nothing's impossible.
Come on. Don't tell me you can really do everything.
If I put my mind to it. Try me.
What about swimming?
I've been training to swim in cold water for years. No one can beat me when it comes to swimming under ice.
I'd like to believe that. And seeing it's summer now, I have no other choice. What about climbing?
I can climb any cliff without a rope, just using my bare hands, and then do a backflip off it into a pond.
Jesus, you're a madman.
Not at all. I'd be a madman if I trusted my life to something as crazy as a horse.
Wait, so you're afraid of horses?
Hey, nothing's impossible. But I hate horses with all my guts. I never take risks, and that's why I'll never get on a horse. Not even for a golden goose.
You don't take risks? And what about your strongman antics?
No risk involved. That's years of hard work and training, fella. If I didn't believe in myself and what I do, I'd be long dead.
My name is Henry, and I've heard in the village that you're a renowned strongman, juggler, and moreover, skilled with a weapon. Is that true?
Depends. Why do you ask?
I'm looking for someone to help me.
What's it about?
Well, it's complicated. But the short version is, a few days ago I barely avoided the gravedigger's shovel. I thought I was done for. That's how badly beaten I was. And now, well, I'm feeling a bit unsure in combat. I need to regain my confidence, if you know what I mean.
Aye, that I can do. If what you say is true, I could really help you out, friend. I've been missing a good fight around here.
What would you like in return?
Oh, please. I'll do it out of sheer kindness. I don't have anything to do right now anyway. You can pay me next time.
We can start right away.
All right? Follow me to the arena.
Shall we begin?
Here's a practice longsword, so we don't hurt each other. Let's see what you've got. We'll start with exchanges, and if you do well, we'll try something harder. If you're going to attack, commit to it. Don't stop after a single strike. Dish out several. Now I'm going to show you a simple technique that builds on that. You'll attack from the right, then left, then right again. Attacks follow one after the other. And you don't even have to break through your opponent's cover.
So right, left, and then right again.
Exactly. You could also do it the other way around. I'll let you have exactly 3 strikes, so you're not wasting effort just flailing around. Why didn't you follow through? Don't pause. No. Focus on the direction you're supposed to attack from. Wrong. You have to make 3 attacks in quick succession. I said 3 attacks in a row. Why didn't you finish? Come on, keep going! Nice! Now do it again! Beautiful! Aye, you've got the hang of it. Let's try something more difficult. I'll teach you a real technique. You start with a slash from above, then from the right, and when your opponent expects another attack from above, you do a quick sidestep and drag your blade horizontally across his belly.
So I'll start from the top, then from the right, and then...
From the left. Remember, top, right, and finally left.
All right, let's give it a try.
I'll let you make 3 strikes just like before. No more. Wrong. Again. And this time from the right direction. Come on, keep going. Why didn't you finish? Why didn't you follow through? You mixed up the directions. Again. Don't pause. Nice. Now do it again. Well done. That's that, then. You don't even have to use a longsword for this technique. It'll work with any other weapon.
That'll come in handy.
And one more piece of advice. Any attack can start with this or that technique. Look, if I attack from the right, your riposte will come from above. And that's the first step of this technique. Think about it.
What about other techniques?
I'll teach you even more if you want. But it won't be as cheap. And you'll also have to know a thing or two first. If you prove yourself to me, I'll teach you the best technique of all, Meisterhau, also known as the Master Strike.
How about someone else?
I'm sure I'm not the only swordsman around who could teach you something.
How can I prove myself to you so that you'll teach me the Master Strike?
You'll have to defeat me in a sword fight, because this technique only works for swords.
So all I have to do is challenge you?
That's right.
I'll challenge you to a duel then.
I've barely taught you anything and you're already getting cocky. But very well. At least I'll demonstrate the difference between us. Sorry, lad, but it's too soon for me to teach you the Master Strike.
Let me try it again.
Nonsense. If you can't defeat me fresh, you won't defeat me all bloodied up.
I'll tend to my wounds and be right back.
Very well then. I'll wait for you here, but I don't have all day. Get a move on.
And they try to tell us charms and spells do not work.
Oh, it is you, Charges.
What are you talking about?
You are that chavo from my dream, Jalas Mangesuno. You came to me, the Eterno Gajo, friend of the Roma with clear eyes, the one who has suffered much. A stranger to take on the task that shall unite our familia once again, or divide us forever.
What? What's a chavo? What am I supposed to do?
Go and see the Voivod, he will tell you more.
How are you doing?
Laches Gajo Mishtes. What can an old woman like me do for you?
I'd like to learn a greeting in your language.
There are all kinds, but if you want to say how are you, then it is Sartukejal. And if you want something a bit less ordinary, it is Kaijazmore. But that is only said by man to man, mind you. We women say, Sotavez mrichai.
Aha. And what does that mean?
It is simply asking if the other has enough to eat. This is good manners among us.
Where did you come from?
Ay, Gajo. From God, of course.
I mean, where were you before?
Ah, I see. Well, in the winter we are always in the south. And in the summer we go north.
And over again, like that?
What do you mean over and over? There is the East Road and the West Road too, right?
Wait, you really don't know where you'll be next week?
You guessed it, Gajo. We do not know, and we do not want to know. God always takes care of his children.
Why do you travel the world? Why don't you settle down?
And why do you not settle down? Instead of jumping from the frying pan into the fire, Gajo.
Oh, that's different. I'm serving my lord.
While we have no master, just the sun and God above us, and the grass beneath our feet. So hincha chipen androji vipen.
Tell me something about the Roma. I realize I don't know anything about your people.
What can I say? We are people and Christians, just like you. The only difference between us is that we live on the road, while you are cooped up in the same cottage from cradle to grave. It is a free life for free people. Though it is true we often have to move on, because we are driven out.
How do you get along with the locals?
It's always different. Sometimes the women folk could kiss my feet when I cured their pains. And sometimes they are more likely to burn me at the stake just for being different.
And what makes you nomads different?
You know, Gajo, nothing and everything. We live our lives as if each day could be the last. That is all. Try it. And you will see every sunrise like it is the first time again.
What can you tell me about your husband, the Voivod?
May cholera strike him down, the scoundrel. The last thing I needed was a man like him. But I did not have any better ones at the shop.
Really?
Oh, yes. Like I always say, the best Baroshero under the sun. But his stubbornness will be the end of me one day.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I hear you know some magic and tricks. Is that right?
Kotuke Penja. What magic, Gajo? I am just an old woman who knows how to ward off trouble and hold on to happiness. My old mother, may she rest in peace, she knew all kinds of things.
You see, and I thought you were really, well, in short, a witch.
Not at all. Fortune-telling and spells are far cry from black magic. Black magic is a path every honest Manush avoids like a plague. My power comes from God, and I use it to serve only Him and good folks.
How do you know when it's black magic?
Simple. Black magic is only used for the selfish benefit of fools who think only of themselves.
And is there another kind of magic?
Oh, Devla Miro, of course. The good kind that helps and comes from God.
And is it true? Do the spells really work?
So hincha chipen andro jivipen. If you have faith, then it will work. It was good to see you, my friend.
That Aranka was talking about. Go and see the voivod.
Ha! It's you, Gajo. Aranka's prophecy is coming true.
What? What Gajo?
You come to save our family from this disaster.
Save how? What are you talking about? Slow down and tell me what happened.
How can I slow down, Gajo, when my Shea Marika is gone? My only daughter, gone. Her empty tent is all that is left of her. If Aranka's prophecy is true, you must help me.
How can I help you?
How do you think? You must find her and bring her back.
Do you think in that forest, maybe something could have...
No, I'm sure. Do not invite evil. Such lava can come true.
What prophecy? By all that's holy.
Miri Romni had vision, and she described a Gajo just like you. She says a stranger coming, not like us, different. And he will help our family, our honor. And I believe her every word. She's never wrong, Shosha.
So she disappeared out of the blue?
On my honor as voivod of this camp. One moment she's here, next moment gone. We search for her, but not find. Then Aranka has vision. So we wait for Gajo, who will help us. And now, waiting is over. It's written in stars and how birds fly. I know nothing of such things, but everything Aranka says is true. Will you help me? Will you help an unfortunate voivod? I will reward you, do not worry.
I'll help you. I'm sure we'll find her.
Dear God, I know something good will happen the moment when I see you.
But hold on. You have to tell me more about Marika. Where and when did you last see her?
It has been 2 days. We even follow her tracks past her woman's hut and then on towards Apollonia.
You mean Bajena, the herbalist? She didn't advise you?
I do not know the Johani's name, but I know she does not like nomads. She says she don't know anything, and if she know, she will not tell us. Such disrespect. Puh! Be bucked!
Voivod, I know it's hard to accept, but could your daughter have been...
No!
But...
I said no!
I just mean...
I am voivod, and that means I'm wisest in all camp. I have letter of safe conduct from the king, guaranteeing safety and freedom for my camp. And when I know something, I know it. Tana?
Where's her tent? Maybe I can find something in there that'll help with the search.
We look through everything here. That's Zeratu. Nothing.
Still, I'd at least give it a try.
Misto. But don't waste time. Marika, she sleep under a kind of oilcloth right next to Aranka's shop. She always liked the open air.
I think I know everything I need to know.
Please, find Marika and bring her back. Te aveți bahtalo, more.
Do you have any idea where Marika might be?
Dear boy, the crystal ball is cloudy. The smoke from the herbs goes with the breeze. And the flight of the birds? No, that cannot be relied on.
Can you really divine things from bird flight?
As sure as my name is Aranka. But wait, there is one thing. Last night I dreamt of a city of rocks.
A city of rocks? What does that mean?
I can only say what I saw, nothing more.
I'll have a look at your wares.
Oh, never mind then. Farewell. Are you all right? You look like someone gave you a thrashing.
Ah, don't worry. I'm fine.
What did you get yourself into, lad? Go and see the surgeon before you bleed to death.
My God, you look awful. Do you need help?
should see the sawbones. You don't look good at all.
What'll it be, you bum?
Somebody gave you a good working over. Are you all right?
God bless.
Te aveți bactalo, Romea. Dikas. Sertuke Jalgoro.
Things a bit odd, let me tell you. Nobody knows for sure how she went missing or where she went. And the voivode doesn't want to talk about it.
Where are you heading, laddie?
I'm just passing through. Why?
If you're headed towards the Rock Tower Pond, make sure to avoid the abandoned barn.
What barn?
There's an old abandoned barn not far from here. Some vagabond has camped there. On the booze from morning till night, right nuisance he is. I've tried to have a word, but the bastard came at me with an axe. That's why I warn passers-by, so they don't come to no harm. God only knows what that bloke might do.
Thanks. I'll keep it in mind.
Greetings to you.
I was wondering if you'd lend me your bullet when it's time to sow
I'm
winter
sorry.
grain. Hey,
Have you come to break some more stuff?
Lend me the bullock on Lord's Day.
If you want.
You're not gonna plow on Sunday, are you?
Jug of wine! Nor should you.
And if you don't have anywhere to sleep, then you...
Lend me
Am I
yours on
supposed
any
to
other
open
day.
my mouth? You're wasting the phrase.
You should have a light.
Hey? Did you lose something here in the daytime? Or what are you looking for here? Are you waiting for the sun to come up?
You shouldn't be walking around without a light.
I hope you're not going to be wandering around out there all night.
That's a fine maypole.
One beer.
A blessed evening to you.
Mind where you're going.
It's late. What do you want from me?
How you doing? I'm Henry.
Nice to meet you. I'm Zdeněk. I'm a storyteller. I could tell you stories so sad they'd make the devil cry. Or would you prefer something so scary it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white? But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
How can I know if it'll be worth it?
If you don't believe me, ask anyone. They all know me in the village, and they all know I'm good.
So they all sing your praises, even if you stutter?
You know what? Go to hell. You can bugger right off if you're looking to insult me. But if you want to listen, you better cough up some coin.
All right. I could spare a few groschen.
A wise decision, friend. So, let's talk money. Do you have it or not?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure it's worth it.
You won't find out until you pay.
Oh, what kind of pig was sitting here?
To your health, my friend.
Thank you very much. I knew you wouldn't leave me high and dry. So what kind of story would you like to hear?
I like stories that can teach me something. Stories with a moral.
Haven't you heard enough of those in church? But it's not a problem. I have just the tale for you. And it's not one you'll hear from any priest. So, once upon a time, there lived in these very lands 2 brothers. The older was called Kuba, the younger, Matthias. They were both woodcutters, like their father and his father before him. One day, at the height of summer, they were working in the woods. The air was as hot as a furnace, so Matthias went to a nearby pond to cool himself. But as he was leaning over the cold water, there was a loud splash. His axe had got loose from his belt. In haste, he began to search the muddy bed of the pond, and his hands soon touched something hard and heavy. He pulled it out and could not believe his eyes. He pulled out an axe. Yes, but not his old one. It was an axe made of pure silver.
Good God. I'd grab that without a second thought.
Maybe you would, but Matthias would never. He was an honest man, and with a big swing he threw the silver axe back. He searched the pond again, and this time he pulled out his own axe. Nothing but dull iron and old wood.
I reckon that was the right choice. Who knows who the silver axe belonged to?
Well, quite. Listen on. Matthias was just about to leave when suddenly a water goblin came out of the pond, silver axe in his hands, and he said, "You're a righteous man, Matthias, and for your honesty, you may keep both axes." Matthias, not hanging around for the goblin to change his mind, took up both axes, gave us thanks, and ran to tell Kuba all about it. Kuba, however, was not best pleased with his little brother's fortune. He deeply envied Matthias for his newfound wealth. So, he set out to try the same thing. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the pond, threw his own axe in, and began a pretend search for it. Yet Kuba had no luck. He pulled out the axe he'd thrown in himself. So he tried again. Tricked by sunlight, he grabbed something shiny, only to pull out his old iron axe again. Enraged, he hurled his axe back into the water and yelled, "Fuck this axe! I want a silver one." But the water goblin heard his shameful cry and was greatly upset by Kuba's greed. So, when Kuba reached down into the water for a third time, The water goblin seized his hand, pulled him down a hole to the dark depths, and drowned him.
Oh, that's so cruel. I feel sorry for Kuba.
Aye, and so did Matthias. He went to the water goblin and begged for his brother's body so he could take him home and bury him. But the path back from the pond led over a steep hill, and carrying the weight of the waterlogged body exhausted Matthias. He stopped to rest by an old oak tree, and he used a silver axe to cut off a branch that would serve as a walking stick. But it wasn't enough. Somehow, it was still getting harder to continue up the hill. Then Matthias realized it wasn't his brother's body that was weighing him down. It was the silver axe. The axe was the cause of all this trouble. So he started bashing the silver axe against the big stone with all his might, trying to destroy it. Yet no matter what, he couldn't even make a dent. With the last of his strength, Matthias climbed to the top of the hill. He knew he could go no further, so he found a pretty spot with a view over the valley and dug his brother a grave. There, he buried both his brother and the silver axe that had brought such pain upon them. His final act was to stick the oak branch in the ground by the grave. But lo and behold, the branch grew green leaves and became a tree. The locals have had no dealings with the water goblin since then, but some have had the bad luck to bump into him. And when you walk by the pier where it all happened, you can still hear his chuckling.
That was a very nice story.
Story? What story? It's the truth.
Why hasn't anyone gone looking for the axe then?
Because it brings misfortune. Didn't you listen to me at all? Look for yourself if you wish. Rock Tower Pond isn't far from here. The Water Goblin's pier is somewhere among the reeds. But leave me out of it. I'm fine here with my drink. Good night, and God be with you.
Look out!
Closing time! Come again. Tomorrow, perhaps.
God bless.
Why are you wasting my time if you don't want...
What did I do to you?
What would you like?
Come again.
Ale!
Can I spend the night here?
Not a chance. Go back to where you came from, you wastrel. Ah, well, what can you do? Farewell, then.
You're having problems with the Geliovites?
Not just me, my friend. They're the biggest bastards around. They've been nothing but trouble for years. The winter before last, they piled snow in front of everyone's doors at night, so no one could get out of their house. And last year, they broke into my cellar and pissed in my beer barrel.
Gracious. I hope you got your own back on them.
Not yet, no. But since you're here, I've got a plan you could help me out with. I'd pay you well. You can count on that.
What exactly would you like me to do?
Don't worry. I won't make you do any shoveling or pissing anything. But I'll tell you exactly what I have in mind, only after you promise to help me. I'd hate to reveal my plan, only for you to go off and tell the Geliovites right away.
All right. I'll help you.
Listen up, then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Geliov, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is. The finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective, too. Now I mean you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Albram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right, then. Albram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Albram's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Zhelyov lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Albram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial, but the Zhelyevites took it from us.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper ass-kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Albram came along, claiming it was the other way around. And that pasture belonged to Zhelyov.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Zhelyevites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Albram always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Zhelyevites are at wit's end, they come at us, and nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
Then how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking... There's a... But then...
Well... Have you tried asking Lord von Burgov for help?
Of course, but he'd have none of it. He said it's up to the Trotskovitz bailiff to sort it out. But the bailiff couldn't care less. He said we should deal with Albram ourselves, or he'll have us caned and clapped in the pillory.
What's new around here?
Vostotek. Lord von Beregov's huntsman is a regular here. He might have some work for you. He's got a cottage near Vidlak Pond. So if you know your way around the woods, you could go and offer him your help. I hope he hasn't started drinking somewhere else. He's my best customer. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper.
want? Is
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
Aye, I could. But it's the middle of the night, for Christ's sake. Stop by during the day when I'm working. Farewell.
Ave Maria.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. Ah, what do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Did you get it sorted out?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Farewell.
And ask him to talk to him. Oh, please. The priest gambles with them. What?
Go over to
You
the
bet he
anvil.
does.
Let's get
His
started.
housekeeper told me he's got a brooch at home I lost a month ago. How did it end up there?
Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up a bit larger. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above it. Give it a pull. Works better. Tell the temperature by the color, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? It's the color of straw, which is what you want, and you heated the whole thing up. Nicely done. Now you can go straight to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. So what then? If you can't handle it, I'll have you make nails instead. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. Move it. You're standing there like a fence post. You call this working? It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. Over to the anvil. See that? Besides the spark, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. Sparks! That's the stuff. That's the ring you want. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is the temporary, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
How do I know a good strike from a bad one?
By the sparks that fly up. And by the ring. It rings out with a different sound when you do it right.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. They can't afford it neither.
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them, though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house. There are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work. kindly, and come again, friend. It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semine that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semine.
Those two hands of yours, Venser and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long. But these days, I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Semine wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Semine's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right. I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them.
Keep the peace, and we won't have any problems.
Greetings.
So I says to him, "No, father, I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour."
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as late as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Semine is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck where you're from. You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yurko, seems to me this fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that.
You're in for an ass kicking, you piece of shit! I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker!
Such violence. Does anyone live by the Bible these days?
Stop beating him!
Didn't expect that, did you, you grabber?
Come on. Oh, you wee
What
bastard!
in the devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people here how we do things.
Grandad?
Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the flood.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around here bare-arse, with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad, hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
What about that wine?
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takoff blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yetchin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone, what we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no
sir.
need to imagine the worst right off, gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulder's acting up. Yurko is shit-faced, and your son...
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir.